Oh, good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a conversation with one of our clients. His name is Brian. He lives in the United States, originally from South Korea, and he got his e-commerce business to $1,000 a day within 8 months. He's been in e-commerce space, getting some good momentum with his e-commerce business. So I'll be asking him questions about, his background, how he got to this point, what lessons he's learned in the process, and other questions from you guys. So please drop your questions for Brian in the chat. Anything that currently concerns you, something that you have challenges with, either choosing the product, getting some momentum with your ads, testing creatives, funnels, maybe mindset-wise as well. I would love to help you, and Brian will be here to support me as well, answering your questions. Before we get started, just to make sure that we have good connection, just drop one in the chat if you can hear me okay, and if you can see me okay. Just drop one. Wilson still running. Please DM me Elite. Yeah, taking crypto. Wilson still running. Wilson still running. Please DM me Elite on Instagram. I'll have my team reach out to you as well, and we'll get you in. See you guys in Dubai, like in a few weeks. Should be phenomenal experience. Should be phenomenal event. Great people coming together. About 200 e-commerce entrepreneurs, and super excited to have you guys there. So we'll get started in a second. 1111111. Perfect. Let me see if Brian is able to join me here. How you guys doing? How is business? How's everything? Just let me know. Also, some questions that I might be help you with in the process. Coming to Dubai. I see the question from Fahad on Instagram. Coming to Dubai on 25th, I believe. Have lots of events. Also speaking at Affiliate World. So if you guys will be there, would love to meet you in person. Affiliate World event, speaking there, and just will be around the event to meet some of you great guys and help you with anything I can. So super excited to be there. So now Brian has just joined me. Hey Brian.
Hello.
How are you, my man?
I'm good. Give me 1 second. Let me connect my earphones. Sorry. Hello.
All right. Yeah. Can you hear me?
All set.
Yeah. You can hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Cool, man. Thank you so much for joining me. Is it so cold in California right now?
A little bit. It's been raining the past couple days, but it's 8 in the morning right now. So yeah, it's a little cold this early in the morning.
Oh man, thank you so much for joining me so early.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, I gave like a brief kind of like information about you and your story. So if you can like elaborate on that, like how you got into e-commerce, what did you do before e-commerce, and kind of how your journey has been so far.
Mm-hmm. So I started about maybe 8 months ago, and I kind of got into it because it was really just more like kind of like boredom at first. I was just like everyone else figuring out how to make money online, and I stumbled upon the whole drop shipping thing, and I was kind of interested in it because it sounded like like unlike everything else where it's like you have crypto and you have all these other business models that are out of your control, but this felt like the one thing that actually like felt fully in my control, and it felt like something that I could fully be behind in terms of like actually being excited about my work, building my own brand, building my own having something to like actually build. And like that's what mainly got me into it is that whole aspect of having something that I can be proud of, like being proud of something that I built. That was the main aspect, but obviously there's the trying to make money and like trying to retire and that whole aspect too. But yeah, it wasn't anything like it wasn't like a crazy story for me of why I started. It was just kind of just curiosity, a lot of like wanting to learn about like just like how marketing works, how like the human psychology works, just a lot of interesting factors in there that made me want to start.
And what did you do before that? Like, did you study? Did you go to, like, did you have
Yeah,
some nine to
I
five?
just straight school, like literally nothing else, like just working, helping out my dad. Um, yeah, I was living a very boring life.
Did you go to college, like, or university?
Yeah, so I went to University of Oregon for a couple of years and then I stopped going there and then because I didn't want to do the whole like out of state, it gets pretty expensive going to college out of state. So I didn't want to do that for 4 years because after 2.5 years, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And like, if I'm gonna like spend $50,000 a year on something, I'm gonna make sure it's something that I want to do. So
Mm.
I stopped going to out of state, and then I started going to city college, like nearby my house, which is a lot cheaper and a lot better and a lot faster to do. But like even through doing that, I was just like, this is not something that I want to be doing. Like it was, like the whole school system just never really fit me, and it was just I never really did good with like just like focusing in class and like doing all of that. It was just never for me.
You're a typical entrepreneur. You can't
Yeah,
just like sit still.
yeah.
Cool. And so, what did you study in school? Like, what subject?
Business. I mean, it was just kind of like, kind of getting into college, like not even knowing what to do. Everyone's like, God, just do business. Like it's the easiest and like you'll make the most money. So it's like, okay, I'll do business.
Interesting. And so, like, so you never worked like 9 to 5 job?
No, not like a real 9 to 5 job. Like I helped out with my dad and like there was a period of time where I was working 50 plus hours a week, but I was never really a time where I was like, you know, I don't think I really ever worked for anyone else besides my dad.
Awesome, man. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it's interesting to observe like different journeys, that people have
Mhm.
in terms of. Oh, I think there's like an echo.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
That's
no,
it.
it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's like
Wait, is it still
there's
there?
like yeah, I can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, is the echo still there?
Oh, no, echo is gone. All good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, there's like a typical path, that has been established, for dozens of years, probably like last like 100 years, where you go to college, you get a job, and then you work on that job for like 40, 50 years, and then hopefully you retire. Hopefully, government
Mhm,
pays you something at the end, and then like that's it, end of story.
mhm,
And like hopefully you're able to have some more freedom and travel some more when you're like 60. And
mhm,
so and then the technology and the opportunities that we have right now, it's like totally flip that, right? Like the opportunities we have right now to start a business, like from your bedroom. Like I started the business from my bedroom. You started the room, probably like the business as well. and it's crazy, the kind of, but at the same time, right? Like a lot of people are still kind of like following that old kind of path that was like established, like go to college, get a job, graduate with a lot of like student loans, and then it just incredible how that's why I'm doing these calls, right? To kind of like show people like different passes that they could potentially take for
mhm.
themselves. Like if they want to like get into business, I mean, yeah, initially it probably won't be like as easy, right? Like, but you'll figure it out. But the upside and potential of business is like significantly higher than just getting like a 9 to 5 job and working there for like 40 years.
Yeah, and also another interesting point is that, the whole reason that everyone kind of gets into like the whole online business is because they want, you know, not just financial freedom, but time freedom. They
Right.
want to they want to be able to travel. But it's really funny because at first, like, you have no time. Like, I'm like, I went to bed at like 5 hours ago, and like, I just constantly feel like I'm like cramming like things in, and like, it's Chinese New Year right now, and as soon as I started getting momentum, like, I got a message from my supplier, like, "Hey, um, we're gonna be on, vacation for, like, 2 weeks," and I'm like, "That cannot be happening," like, as soon as, like, I start getting momentum, and it's, like, always something that pops up, like, some type of roadblock that, like, stresses you out and has you up just all night, just, like, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, and it requires some, the type of like stress tolerance. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, there are people that have created like massive, companies, right? There's like small businesses, 6 figure, 7 figure, even 8 figure. And then there's like billionaires. And like, imagine like someone running like $1 billion company, how much stress that person is going through like each day, how much stress they must be able to handle. But that's, I think, I mean, for me personally, like I think as and probably for you as well, like that's also part of the journey, right? Where you kind of like in that process of handling that stress, like you're becoming better as a person, right? Like you're learning to process information faster. You're learning how to like not to get demotivated, like if something doesn't work out right away. You learn how to overcome challenges as they come your way. And it's like, I think the personal growth, like for me, like it's that aspect that's just it kind of makes you a better person, like long term, like you think about how you're evolving like as a person, like you're able to connect the dots. Then over time, like when you start building a business, you're hiring the team. Now you also, taking care of themselves and those people and their families and providing for them and like learning to manage them and becoming a better leader. So it's like a never ending like growth process that I think makes entrepreneurship so, so fascinating. But I think from just from the expectation standpoint, like people getting into the business shouldn't expect that like everything will work out like in one day, right? Like because
Mhm,
that's what you get. Like you get on Instagram, it's like people show their like Lamborghinis and yeah, like cars and lifestyle.
mhm.
But there's a lot that goes behind the scenes, like in order to make that lifestyle happen. And there's a lot of work that you have to put in order to make that a reality.
Yeah, definitely, a lot of behind the scenes work that goes in, and, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I'll tell you when I remember, but I feel like it was pretty important. But um it was definitely along the lines of like figuring out everything behind the scenes. Like it's at, like here's what I was gonna say. When I first posted my 1K day on BBA, the initial messages I was getting was like, what did you do differently? Like what did you do different than everyone else? And I'm like, I didn't do it different. Like I just did what they told me to do, and like I just put the reps in, and like I made sure that like, after every product and after every creative testing, like I made sure that like to write down like why it didn't work out or why it did work out, like why it did get a sale so that I can, build on that. And like, initially at first too, I was the same way. I was like, like how can I do this differently? Like there's no way they're telling me everything that I need to know, because it's like, you know, you start to overcomplicate it in your own head. So it's like as soon as I started like just simplifying the process down, and like my coach did a really good job of like helping me just simplify the process down, and like tell me like stop worrying about things you don't need to worry about. And so yeah, that helped me just like put my head down and focus on the right things and put in the right inputs, and then the outputs were there. Like as long as I put in the right inputs and put in the reps, it was just automatic, the outputs.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's like one of the tendencies that many entrepreneurs have, like to overcomplicate things, right? It
Mhm,
just can be that simple, right? And then like, but it's, I mean, if you think about like going to the gym, right, and like and getting in shape, right? It's like shit. I mean, like it's simple stuff, right? Anyone
mhm,
can do it. Just eat good food, go to the gym like regularly, sleep well, drink water, have get some supplements. That's it,
mhm.
right? But
Yeah,
then like it's people overcome. Oh, I need this like special like
yeah.
supplement, or I need like this special routine, or like this special type of workout that's like, and then people overcomplicating it, and and at the end, like not taking action. I think that's the biggest one, right? Because if you're taking action, like then you're learning something from that experience. As long as you are analyzing, don't take it personally. Okay, if it didn't work out, don't just beat yourself for it, but learn
Mhm.
from that, and next time do it a little bit better, so that over time you become smarter in your decisions. And so as long as people do that for a continuous period of time, it's like there's no way, they cannot figure it out, especially if, like inside of BBA, or if they have like a good mentor, they're
Mhm.
getting also feedback loops from the mentor and executing on that.
Yeah, and it's also like Mark. I was watching Mark's live the other day, and he said it's not. I mean, you don't make money in correspondence to how smart you are. So like, it's most of the time you're gonna look around and see people with more money than you, and they're not gonna like. You don't want to degrade them, but most of the time you're gonna think to yourself like, I can do better than this guy. Like he's not smarter than me, and like most of the time, like, you're probably right, but it's the fact that, like, he's not smart enough to, like, put these obstacles in front of him that's not there, where he just pushes forward and just does what he needs to do. That's why he's getting it done because he's not overcomplicating it.
Yeah, sometimes being dumb and just doing stuff is helpful, actually.
Yeah, you have to be delusional enough to, like, just constantly do the same not the same thing, but just constantly do it over and over again and just, like, trying to find minor tweaks. Like, you have to be a little bit delusional.
100%. And so your family, your dad, like when you told him like you want to get into the business, you want to focus like on e-commerce, like how did he react to that?
Um, well, that's not something that I've actually told him yet. This is not. I was honestly, I was. This was the like the. This is where I wanted to get first, like the 1K days, and like I wanted to get that consistently over time before I like brought it up because like you know at the end of the day like you never know what's really going to happen. So for me, like I kind of just have to have something a little bit built up for me to go out there and like, show proof. I can't just be like, hey, I'm just like, I'm just getting into something that I don't really know about. Like I want to make sure that like I have something that like built up before like I, tell them like, hey, I'm done. Like it's definitely not that easy.
Got it. And maybe also was yeah, your dad is entrepreneur, right? So he's like, show me the money, show me the
Yeah,
proof,
show me.
right?
Yeah, show me the money. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's the whole reason that I. It's actually really funny. That's the whole reason that I got into it was because he is an entrepreneur, but like I said, with the whole work schedule, like this dude works 7 days a week, like from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 12 hours a day, like no rest. And like that's the life of being an entrepreneur. It's just like that's reality. It's just like you're just gonna have to like be stressed just constantly, just 24/7 about your business. And it's like, I can only imagine what it's like for you just running a 9-figure business. Like, even me just barely starting up and like having like 30 orders in a day, like mess up. I'm like, oh my God, my world is ending.
Yeah, it's coming over time. I think it's like your pain tolerance like grows over time. You learn
Mhm,
to like, okay, you adapt to that level. Then next time it happens, like you reacting less. Next time it happens, react less, and then like in 1 month you're like, yeah, 30 orders a day, and then and then you're getting 50, and then you're getting hundreds. Like then it's like your stress level increases, but then you're
yeah,
also adapting to that level, and that's how you progress. Because I've been through all of those stages myself, and I remember like my first like ad account shut down. My
mhm,
first like I had Stripe account was like $300,000 on it that was
mhm,
shut down, and I freaked out. Like
yeah,
I freaked out, and so I remember all of those moments. But then you're just reflecting. I think it's who said that? It's like I think Steve Jobs said that, like one of his speeches, like you cannot connect the dots like when you're looking like in front of you, but then
mhm,
when you're looking back, you can connect them. Oh, okay, I had this experience and it taught me this. So then next time it happened, okay, led me to this conclusion, it led me to meet this person, and then
mhm,
like you connecting the dots as you go in life.
mhm.
And I think that's the beauty of like entrepreneurial journey. It's like you're going on this like narrow path, like that's has a lot
Mhm.
of obstacles, a lot of things, but then at the end of it, like if you do the right things consistently over the period of time, like you can set yourself for life, help your parents, retire your parents, and having that that freedom that you're looking for.
Mhm. And also just touching back on that, one point, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg where they asked him, like, if you could go back and, like, tell your 18-year-old self, like, not to make certain mistakes, and he was like, "Well, like, I don't think I would because those mistakes made me who I am," and, like, that's so important because, like, especially, like, I even see it inside of BBA where, like, people, like, have analysis paralysis and they take forever just deciding on one product to test, and it's like, dude, you just have to get them out of the way as fast as possible and, like, just get your mistakes out of the way, and, like, if I told you that you had to get 99 mistakes in before you had that one correct answer, like, how fast would you go through those 99 mistakes? Like, it'd be a whole different world.
100%, yeah. And it's I think I think probably in some cultures it's more like it's more like the parents, the society, like the whole overall like culture and mentality. Like for example, um in my culture, I come from like post like Soviet Union, and in
Mhm.
my cultures, like if you make a fucking mistake, that's it. Like that's
Yeah.
it, game over. Like you fucked it up. And then like if you make mistake in school, like teachers like literally humiliate you. Like oh, like you're stupid. Like you're
Oh.
yeah, yeah. So that's how it was back in my country, and then like if people come from maybe not as harsh kind of like environment,
Mhm.
but they're just afraid to make mistakes, right? Like you said, they're overthinking it because they want to make a perfect decision. And there is like it's very like rarely happens that you make a perfect decision because everything changes very fast, right? You also don't have a lot of experience to make very good decision if that's your first, let's say, like a product you're testing. It's
Mhm.
like you just have to get it out of the way and like learn from that experience whether it's good or bad and just proceed. um and I think what you mentioned is very cool in terms of like looking at your mistakes as like looking at those like first steps as simple as a learning experience, because that's how we learn. My kids, I have two kids, and like
Mhm.
when my younger one, he just like learned how to walk,
Mhm.
and he's like the first time he tried to walk, he was like make one step, half step, and he would fall down, right?
Mhm.
And then he would try to do it again, and then he would make a first step, and then he would make like few steps, and now he's running around the house, so like a few months later. So but he had to fall down, he had to hit himself a few times, and that's the only way that we can learn. Like we can learn only by doing something, making mistakes, learning from those, and moving on.
Mhm. Yeah, and also I it was this one more funny thing that I saw. There was this NFL player that's like really good, and he was talking about how when he before he came to the NFL, he was like, I didn't think I was good enough. Like I didn't think I was good enough until I see these people that I played against, and I was like, hey, like I'm better than them. And it's like that's when it starts to click. And it's like at first you don't think you're good enough. Like at first, like nobody thinks they're good enough, and then it's like it's until you get there and it's like something starts to click where it's like, wait, you look back and it's like, I was good enough. And it's like everything just starts to click, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And that's I think that's the beauty of like being in the community, like of other people that are like-minded, because then you like consciously or subconsciously you're always comparing yourself to others, and you might realize like that some people that are doing much better than you, maybe they're not smarter, like they're just
Mhm.
doing certain things differently, or maybe they're just doing things for a longer period of time, and that makes it real for you. Like I was I when I was like living in Europe, and I would be coming to United States, like I said, like wow, that's so cool, these entrepreneurs are so smart. Then I would meet them at the events, and I'm like, yeah, they're smart, but I think I can beat them. And then
Yeah.
but that would like that's the beauty of like being in an environment, also like coming to like real world events, like where you're meeting these people in person, because it makes it all real for you. We're like idealizing people, right? Like we see
Mhm.
people on the internet, we see people on Instagram, and it's like, oh yeah, this person, they make all of the perfect fucking decisions, they never make mistakes,
Mhm.
they enjoy this great lifestyle, and everything in their life is perfect. That person might be dealing with so much shit every single day you don't even know about. And then like that person might not be even like that smart. They just been doing this stuff for a longer period of time. But I think that foundation, that self-belief and mindset before any of the tactics, right? Because like you can give the person like all of the tactics. Okay, do here on this, like click on this button, like launch this ad, this product. You can give them like everything. But if they don't believe that they can do it, if they don't believe, they can make mistakes, learn from those, and become better, then they will not take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
So for you, like when you were getting into e-commerce, like did you have like any like skepticism like at all? Like is this like a scam? Is this like, is this like a real opportunity? Is this like too saturated? Anything like that?
Honestly, at first, like, so I started like 8 months ago, and I went for about 2 months, and then I just stopped because like I was I was doing it the wrong way. I was trying to go organic, trying to build like social media awareness before I got sales, and like I was just pouring money into getting just traffic to my page, not even to my website. Just I was just spending money to get people on my page, and like it wasn't working. Like I got one sale for 2 months, and I was like, okay, well, obviously this is a scam. And then November came around, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the right way, and I'm gonna get advice from like people who know what they're doing. And luckily I found Mark's channel like right around that time, and like this dude, like if you guys don't follow his channel, like this dude drops a crazy amount of sauce on his on his YouTube. But yeah, so that's how I figured out like this whole different world of ecom where it's like you get into funnels, you get into like post selling up, like post purchase upsell, and like email retention and all this other stuff that just like you know it like it was like, oh my god, like I could like see a way where I could like actually like implement my ways into this system and like make it, or like try and make it work. Like before it was just like kind of just like blindly just following someone, like not even like knowing what the exact structure was. But like once I got into the program, like every all the structure was like just so organized to the point where like I knew exactly like what to do, what to get started on. Like I made sure not to like just watch the entire course and then start like start at phase one, and then like implement the learning, and then go back to phase two, and then do it that way. And you know it was, I mean, at first I was definitely like, yeah, this is not going to work. There was definitely a lot of skepticism there, but once I saw the whole system, and once I saw how the system worked, because I feel like I'm a very like blue-brained person where like I have to know like the exact like system of how it works. I'm like, once I saw the system of how it works, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a very like realistic business model. Like it's possible.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's, and yeah, and it sounds like that only comes with like experience, like the awareness of like different moving parts in the business. Like for example, you take a restaurant business, right? Like
Mhm.
restaurant business, there's few elements there, like the location, the food, the service, the marketing, there might be a few more. And then like once you understand all of these moving parts of the business, and you see, let's say you're looking at the numbers of the business, you're able to see, okay, let's say our customer repeat rate is too low, right? Okay,
Mhm.
maybe the service is not good, right? So now you're identifying the specific problem, the specific constraint in a business. The same way in e-commerce business, like you're looking at your ads, you're looking at your funnel data, and you're able to, okay, so let's say my funnel conversion rate is too low. Okay, so what do I have to do in order to increase that? Or let's say
Right.
my average order value is too low. What do I have to do to increase the average order value? But you're getting that awareness, that I think, I mean, just like as a skill, like taking like e-commerce out of the equation. Like let's say you were not like running this business, but let's say you wanted to do like another business. Just having that business mindset is applicable to like any business you want to be in. Like
Mhm.
if you wanted to do like a restaurant, you wanted to do like a local business, probably at this point you could look at your dad's business and like give him some pointers. It's like, oh, you can upsell to your customers this and this and this, right? Like kind of
Mhm.
like increase the funnel,
Yeah.
AOV.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually funny because I was like trying to like think about like how would I be able to implement a funnel into like the restaurant industry? Like that would
Mm,
be crazy, like but like, it's just like you have to learn like, before you like start figuring out what like a winning product is, you have to like learn the basics of marketing and the basics of
right.
copywriting. Like that's the most important part. Like like when I first joined, I was so focused on getting that like that first sale in the 30 days, like doing that challenge, where like I wasn't focusing on the right things. And like as soon as I like got a copy of
Breakthrough advertising.
this book right here,
Boom. Let's go.
this that started changing everything. Like once you like start figuring out like awareness levels and like market sophistication and like how to introduce new products, you're like it's like I said, like you start to see the system of how like these creatives work, and you start to see like how psychology works into like marketing. And it's actually that's where the real fun is. It's like actually like trying to pick apart someone's brain. Like that's the fun part.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then you're walking on the street and you see some ads, right? And you see, okay, what is the messaging there? What is the target audience? What is an angle? What
Mhm.
psychological triggers it
Yeah.
trying to, what is a market awareness? And like you start seeing things that you have not seen before. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's literally how all of these things are being sold. Like literally everything that we buy, right? I mean, sometimes we buy just like we go to Amazon, we don't even like care. But like let's say when we run ads, every ad that you see one way or another is trying to influence you in some way. And just starting to see those things and just becoming like a very good marketer is I mean I think it's one of the most like valuable skill sets because it's applicable to so many like different things, like so many different products. Like you could sell like I don't know, like roofing, you could sell like solar systems, you could sell
Mhm.
like anything, right? You can generate leads for businesses, you can run your own e-commerce business, you can partner up with someone on their e-commerce business and help them grow. But the skill set itself is so incredibly valuable once you know how to sell and how to market.
Yeah. And like once I started to shift my mindset from like I have to make a bunch of money to like I have to like learn as much as possible, like it's crazy how much your entire world starts to change.
Yeah. 100% moment. So for you, like that kind of that paradigm shift that this is possible, like it came after like you just consumed like a lot of content, or what flipped the switch for you, or just like
Yeah.
you're watching like Mark's content and it's kind of like explained in a way that it actually you got it.
Yeah. I mean, like it was the whole philosophy behind like you can't know something doesn't work unless you try it yourself. And like you
Hmm.
have to put like at least 100 reps into something to like know like, hey, I can't do this. And like it was I don't know, it's kind of bold to go into a brand new business and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this just for, like what was this? I'm getting a little off topic, but it was what's it called? It was more along the lines of like do I want to like if I like so like okay, when I initially joined BBA, I did have my doubts, I was like maybe I don't have everything I need. But then I like switched my mindset to like, okay, well, am I doing this because I want to be right or am I doing this because I want to make money? So it's like as soon as I asked that question, like everything started to change where it's like I'm not like, oh, like boo hoo, boo me. Like I'm like, okay, well go out there and get the information that you need. Everything's out there on the internet. So it's like as soon as that mindset shifted and it's like I started putting the blame on myself and like how I'm
Uh,
not doing the things that I need to do. That's when like because like once you start putting the blame on other people, that means that you're going to be in your current situation unless other people change. So it's like you're putting the power of your life in their hands. So the only way to not do that is by blaming yourself. So that the only way that you can change your situation is by you changing. And that just opens up your world so much because it's like you're free from the shackles, it's like it's a whole different experience. So it's like that's the most important part. It's like just putting the blame on yourself and like that and like you'll just work so many things out when you do that.
wow, man, I love that. I love this. I love this perspective. Like you said, it's like let's say I have a belief, right, that e-commerce is a scam, right?
Mhm.
And then like okay, then let's say I would join like a mentorship program with that
Mhm.
belief, right? if I don't change that belief, no matter what information I would be given, right? Like here's exactly what to do to make it fucking work, right? Here's
Mhm.
what steps to follow. Here's like literally what you have to do. Here's what you have to watch to make it happen, to make that e-commerce business a reality. I would disregard all of that information if I want to just like satisfy my ego and just be compliant with all of my beliefs that I have, right? Like you said, it's yeah, it's such a wow. This is so good, man. Yeah, because so unless you change that, okay, what if my belief wasn't true? And then like, okay, where that belief comes from, right? So okay, so
Mhm.
now you start kind of like digging deeper. Okay, maybe someone in my school told me that. Oh, maybe some random person on like fucking Reddit said that. Person
Mhm.
that's never built like a successful business, right? And then you just taking that belief and accepting that as your reality. And it's like, and now it's a kind of like part of your operation system. So it's in a way you have to like reprogram yourself, right, with all of
Mhm.
those beliefs, because they will guide everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. Because if you believe in something, like if you believe you can get like fit, or if you can have like a, you can find like a good relationship, then you'll be proactively looking for that, and eventually you will find it. If you believe you can find, you can build a business, then you will try and try and try. Could be in few months for you, it's like could be in few years, like everyone is different, right? But eventually you'll get it. But if you don't believe it, or if you have the belief that sabotages that, then you'll be just looking for every proof of like that's not working, like just to satisfy your ego, and just to think, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I was right. Like
Yeah.
I love that mindset shift. Like whether I want to be, I want to be right, or I want to be rich, right?
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean that was basically it. It was a pretty simple shift. I mean, like just shifting, like, just small little mindset shifts, just like, and it was also like when I first joined, like my mentality was like, well, what is the percentage of people that make it? Like can I be the majority? But then like I switched that to like, okay, what is your biggest success story? And like that is what's possible. So like I'm gonna go for that, not like just trying to like fall back with the average and be like, how many people make it, like stuff like that.
Yeah, because like I mean, the average person is like, that doesn't make a lot of money, is not happy where they are in life,
Hmm.
probably in poor shape as well. Like
Hmm.
their relationships are not good. Their social circle. I mean, in every area of life, they're just like, they're not happy with where they are. They're not satisfied, so they're probably not the best ones to model. But if you choose
Hmm.
the best ones to model, okay, what do they do differently, and what those people have done differently when they have been on my stage, maybe when they're like starting out. Okay, maybe they eliminated all of the distractions, right? Like
Hmm.
kind of like from their life that would not contribute to their business. They probably work longer hours to make that business successful faster, right? Because initially it's like you have to, there's a learning curve. You have to learn, you have to execute, you have to learn from your mistakes, you have to join the calls. Like if you have a mentor, it's like all of those things. And like once you start replicating the behaviors of the successful people, then like inevitably over time you'll be a successful person.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's like it might be. So my biggest advice is like you're gonna go through that winter arc where it's like you have nobody. It's like you have no friends, you have nobody that's by your side. My biggest advice would be just consume as much content as you can around the people that you want to be like. And it kind of feels like you're surrounding yourself with people like that. And like that was the biggest thing that helped me was like just like watching your videos, watching Mark's videos, like it actually felt like I was being surrounded by people like that I wanted to be surrounded by. And like it was a huge difference. Like just consuming as much content, and obviously you want to create too, but when you're in that phase where you're just like initially starting up, I feel like it's really important to like just find a few people that you want to like mimic, and then just religiously consume their content.
Just brainwash yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, okay, so and people say, oh, so you don't want to brainwash, like Alex, you're talking shit, right? But like, okay, let's look at the bigger picture. Until this point you have been brainwashed
Yeah.
by other people, by fucking society, by government, by parents, like by friends. Like you've been brainwashed, right? And like, and this is where you are. This is the real situation. Like this is how your life looks like. So if you want your life and your situation to look differently, probably for that you need a different set of beliefs, and in order to have those beliefs, you have to just like reinforce them on a day-to-day basis. And the way you do it is by, like you said, consuming a lot of content from people who have done what you want to do.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also like listening to the right advice and like try not to do everything at once. Just like it's like internalize and then compartmentalize. You have to like understand what information exactly that you have to execute in the moment. You can't just like just try and do everything that these people are telling you to do. It's just like just apply what's relevant for you and then just work on that and then just one step at a time.
For sure. Yeah. If you take advice like from, let's say you take advice from billionaires and they're talking about like some super high level stuff, might not be applicable. Like you like, and they're talking about like some advanced like team building, and
Uh-huh.
like you don't have any team members, you don't have any employees. Like, I mean, maybe it's not the best kind of information to consume at that
Hmm.
point.
Yeah.
Man, so how has your experience in BBA been like?
Oh man, it's been a little over 2 months now, and so yeah, initially when I first joined, I was like, I have to make my onboarding feedback, like I have to make that back, and like I was like, that was my entire philosophy of thinking, and like just like trying to like just make as much money as possible, and it was like it was terrible. Like that was probably like the worst point of my life. Like December, like just like like my whole it's because my whole mindset was wrong. It was like like you're gonna tire yourself out and like just kill yourself like that. Like it's not possible. So like as soon as you just change your mindset to like actually just like as soon as I changed my mindset to like actually just like find like find dopamine in like the little things, like just like releasing, like even just like making a creative like stuff like that just keeps me going, and like it feels like there's like a sense of accomplishment, something like that. But once I started like changing it from like the outputs, once I started shifting my focus from the outputs to the inputs, that's when things started to change. But it's still only 2 months for me. I still have 4 months to go. But in terms of like in terms of what you need to start, man, like there's no way that you can have all of that information and not succeed. Like it's packed with information, and like you have everything that you need. It's really just up to you at that point. Like it's up to you as a person, because I mean there's no way that there's so many people just making it out of this program, and like there's no reason that you should like sit there and just think that it's not working.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, we're putting a lot of work into, because when I was starting out, like I was also like joining like different mentorship programs and coaching programs, and I mean even like today, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on education, like internally for myself, for our team, and we're just taking the best elements from everywhere. Okay, so let's say in this program they have like this process to support clients. We literally have like the game plan, right? Like literally step by step, all of the steps, all of the phases in the process, and then we're analyzing the data. Okay, at what stage, let's say, BBA students get stuck, right? So
Mhm.
they're getting stuck in this student. Okay, maybe we have to do more training on this topic. Maybe we have to do the coaching call on this topic. Maybe we have to do like the follow-up call with extra like call with students like at this topic to help them move through that particular obstacle. And then
Mhm.
just like analyzing the data, like we're running it as a business, and as like with proper like systems infrastructure, like every day,
Mhm.
all of our coaches, we're jumping on calls, we're exchanging what's working, what doesn't, what challenges, what obstacles are there, that we can help our clients to overcome. And um I don't think many programs do that. Like I see people just like looking at education as like, yeah, I somehow managed to do it, and now here is like basic information how it is, and like now you go and figure it out. And um yeah, we're trying to help people, man. And thank you so much for kind words.
Mhm.
So what's like the biggest thing that you've learned inside of the program, that like, for example, you got your business like $1,000 a day, like what was maybe like one or few paradigm shifts that helped you to kind of get momentum faster?
Honestly, like there was nothing pretty about it. It's like it's just it's just like I said, it was just putting the reps in, honestly. Like the most important part to me was like, even like within this 6 months, like if I don't get a sale, I'm gonna learn this system and learn how to do this so that even outside of the 6 months, that I'm able to, do this on my own. And that's when I like, from my first product to my second product, I try to do everything like without the course. I try to do it myself. And that's when like things started to like change and like things started to like click, like once you like start to see how it works behind the scenes, and once you like know like, oh, we gotta, find a product, build a landing page, make the creatives. It's like it's a pretty simple, like streamlined process, it becomes very streamlined. And like that was the biggest thing, honestly, that I learned. It's like the entirety of it is just like you have everything that you need to start. And it's like, that's so valuable. It's like, it doesn't really matter like what special, like what special trick or like what special hack, there really is nothing. It's just like, just having this system of like having the playbook basically. And then just like,
Mm.
just being able to execute. It's like, it's like playing a video game. Like, you can have like the biggest playbook in the world, but like it's up to the person to call one specific play at a time. And like you could have the best playbook in the world. If you mess that up, it's over. You know what I mean? Like it's just about implementing the playbook in the right way.
Mm. For you personally, like how do you have any like routines like for you to kind of like focus on work, like eliminate distractions? Because a lot of people, like let's say they want to start a business, right? But then also they have other things happening in their life, and they might have family already. They might have some other like responsibilities. Like, do you have any like anything like in your personal like life that's kind of like how you like segmenting, let's say, or
Mhm.
eliminating these distractions to focus on work and building a business?
Yeah, I mean, there's like small things like, just like trying to like, like black out the room and like, just like actually focus and like stuff like that. But like in terms of like actually like procrastinating, like I'm a terrible procrastinator. Like I'm not the type of person who can like sit down and focus for hours. Like that's not me. So it's like a lot of nights, like even like last night, I find myself staying up really late because like I'm a really bad procrastinator, but I have to get things done. So it's like it's a really bad mix of like you're staying up until 3, taking 6 hours on something that you should have done in 1 hour. And it's like, it probably would have been better to just go to sleep at like, 10 and like just do this tomorrow. But it's like, you know, so it's like for me, it was just about just like my mindset of like having to get it done no matter what. And it's like as soon as the clock hits midnight, like I turn into a different animal. I'm just like, I gotta go to sleep soon. Like I gotta get this done. And like that's when it starts to like putting myself in situations where I have to do it, like getting it
Mm.
past midnight, like, oh, I have work tomorrow, like I have to work and like, but I still need to get this done. So it's like that's pressure right there, it's like you got to get that done. So it's like it's just putting yourself in like pressure situations where you literally there's nothing you can do but the work. And like if you don't do it, you're just kind of you're fucked. Like that's
Yeah.
basically it. Just put yourself in situations like if you're not good at just focusing, just manually put yourself in those situations where you literally have to focus.
Interesting, because I'm the same. Like I like when there's like a pressure, when there's like a deadline. Because I'm
Hmm.
also like I would like procrastinate and like delay stuff. But when there is a deadline, and when like something that's like super important, or maybe like you promise someone something by specific date, so now you're kind of like involving other people as well,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, I mean, I have a call with this person, I have to show them something, I have to show them the work I've done. And then over time it's your team as well, like okay, like you're responsible for them and they're expecting certain things from you as well. And I think it's kind of like artificially, this is uncomfortable, right? Like
Hmm.
putting that pressure on yourself. I think most people just want to avoid pressure and
Hmm.
avoid stress and just have this kind of like relax, like balance, kind of like, oh, this particular, like, the whole routine's like, oh, it's like I go sleep at like 9 p.m. and like I wake up like exactly at the same time. Well, when you're starting a business, you might not have this like very fucking perfect routine. You might not have like 1 hour like in the morning to have like cold plunges and stuff, because you have to get the work done. And it's at the beginning stages of the business specifically, it's something that like you just have to put in more reps, like you said. um
Mhm.
and like artificial, I think that that's a super good hack to just like artificially create that pressure. If it's that pressure doesn't exist, you just create it for yourself,
Mhm.
because that pushes you to just, work under like specific deadlines and create that urgency.
Mhm. Yeah, and, like, also, that's funny that you brought up the cold plunge because, like, it was like, when if you're a beginner, like, it's okay to do those things to, like, if you genuinely enjoy it and if you're genuinely looking for the benefits of it, but, like, if you're just doing it just to do it, like, that is the most pointless thing ever. That is, like, the most pointless thing ever, and it's gonna be impossible to do it that way, you know?
For sure, man. So, did you have like, so I mean, you've had some beliefs that like you readjusted, um, because I mean, like the way I see it, right? Like as you are in the business, you're growing the business, you're becoming a different person, right? Like
Mhm,
you just like becoming like a person that's able to, number one, handle stress better. I think that's number one. That's super valuable in all areas of life. You are forced to become more patient, right? Because some of the things that you want to do, like they won't happen overnight, and you have to kind of develop that patience. I mean, for me, that was a big challenge.
mhm.
And what other things, like where do you see your personal growth as well, like in this process, like in the last few months, in what areas of your like character or like personality?
Um, it was, yeah, that was the biggest thing for me was that having from like a want mindset where like I want these things because like that's saying that you don't have it right now and like that's like you're operating on two different levels. So like my thing was like, once I actually make it, like I'm gonna start doing all these nice things for people. And I'm like, wait a minute, like I can do nice things for people before I make it, And like
Mm,
that was like where things started to change, where it's like money doesn't change who you are, it just amplifies who you are. So it's like you might as well start showing who you are now. So it's like the biggest thing for me is just like not thinking that like I need this to like, help people around me. Like I can already do that. Like with even without the money, like I can do that. And if the money comes on the side, great. Like that's awesome. But like don't make that the reason that you're grateful for the people around you and you treat them well just because you have that, because it's like you can do it without that too. And like that was the biggest growth aspect in my life, is just realizing that like you don't have to be this like really rich person to like look out for the people around you. You can just genuinely be a nice person.
such a good one, man. And it's awesome to see, like for me, like when I'm, first of all, like thank you so much. I mean, because right now we're helping people. Right now there's like hundreds of people listening in, and we'll also have the recordings. So there's a lot of people that like you will impact by sharing your story, by sharing your personal transformation. And for me, like the personal transformation of everyone that we that goes through our programs is even like more important than like specific results that they're getting, right? Like what kind of person they become in the process. Okay, the person grows like 7-figure, 8-figure, like 9-figure business, but what is the personal evolution of that person, who they became in the process. And I mean, the more money, I mean, on the other side, like the more money you make, the potential impact you have on other people's lives just exponentially becomes bigger. But like you said, it's like you don't have to wait until that happens. It's like the same way you don't have to like, oh, when I become a millionaire, I'll be happy. No
Yeah.
fucking way. Like
Yeah.
really. Like I mean, you can be happy now, like if and like if you have food on the table, you have people that you love, like you
Hmm.
have like basic stuff that like most people on earth they don't have. That's
Hmm.
already like a reason to be grateful, and just be grateful for that, and just try to fulfill your full potential so that you can impact even more people.
Hmm.
And yeah, that aspect of like personal growth and evolution, and like seeing you guys like going through the program and just becoming like better humans, like that's the
Hmm.
most fucking fulfilling part for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, Mark was the one who explained this in his life, but it's like if you're operating from a place of want, that's just it's just saying that you don't have what you currently want. So it's just like a mismatch of the way you act and like what you want. So it's like the only way to truly get it is just like actually just like imagine and feel yourself in that and just like think about it. Like you like just actually do the things that you would do if you were in that position. And like it's just like everything starts to change. You're like, and I feel like it's such an important lesson to have before like the money comes, because it's like then you start to learn like how to use the money. And then it's like you're not just like blowing it on stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So the reason why, right, it's so important, and I see that with people that are, um, just do like get in the business, like, oh, I want to make money because I want to buy like cars and I want to just have life. It's kind of like more like selfish reasons, which is, I
Hmm.
mean, nothing wrong with those. But
Hmm.
then, like, if you have a reason that's like bigger than yourself, right, where it's like, okay, if I grow this business, I can impact so many more people. I can help. I mean, everyone on your team, that you'll be supporting, your customers that you'll be selling great products to, like everyone who you impacting. Like if you're sharing your message, like if you're creating like, I don't know, content, on social media, like to impact other people, inspire them, it just becomes exponentially more impactful, and that feels so good. But then I've noticed is that those people that have this like big reason why they usually just go through obstacles and they don't give up, because if the
Hmm.
reasons are selfish, right, there's like, yeah, I want like a Lamborghini, and then they try a few times and it's like it doesn't work out. There is no like big incentive for them to keep pushing because they do it for themselves. Like the same way that if you have certain tasks to accomplish and there's some other people dependent on you to accomplish that task, you're more likely to finish that task because you don't want to let those people down.
Hmm. And like, yeah, I mean, also like if somebody really does want a Lamborghini that bad, like you're right, like they probably are gonna like, like you probably are gonna be able to buy it. But it's like as soon as you buy it, and then what? Like you're done.
Yeah.
Like you're done making money. Like it's over. Like you have your Lambo, and it's yeah. But yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the most important part is like having a bigger why, so that like you can constantly achieve or constantly keep striving for that why. But not everyone's like I don't want to be like messed up, but like not everyone's going to achieve like the full reality of their dreams. Like that's the reality of it. But you can get pretty damn close if you achieve, if you try and just achieve the greatest you possibly can. So it's like you just have to set your standards up here and then just be happy with being up here. And then when you get up here, really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. And then when you get to that level, you realize and you start like if you're in an environment of other people that operating on even higher level than you, then you realize, oh wow, that's what just the beginning. Like there's so much more room to grow. And but that's exciting journey. Like for example, we have I mean you've probably seen some of our stories of our clients. We have clients that are doing like 5 million, 7 million, $10 million per month. And it's like at the beginning it might seem like unrealistic, or it's like,
Hmm.
oh, is that even possible? But
Hmm.
then as you're getting to, let's say, your first like 100K months, okay, boom, wow, that was yeah, wow, that's cool. But then like, oh, you realize like there are other people doing like 1 million. Okay, so now it seems like more realistic. Okay, let's push for that. And then it's like just never ending process of like personal growth, because there's so many layers to this. And on the bigger scheme of things, like these are still very small businesses.
Hmm.
Like even
Yeah.
$100 million a year, like what is that business? Like it's not even like, I mean, it's not Fortune 500 business. It's like it's non-existent almost, right? Like it's such a
Hmm.
small business on a bigger scheme of things. But that makes it so exciting. And e-commerce as a whole, as an industry, is so massive, so that there's an opportunity for everyone to make it happen. And um, we just thank you so much for joining and sharing this.
Yeah. No. Thanks.
Sharing the inspiration with people to go after it.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out to me, man. I'm glad I could come out here and give people, hopefully a little bit of motivation to keep going, and just know that if you focus on the inputs, the outputs will come.
100%, my man. And yeah, I usually do this like at the end of these interviews, like next time we connect with you, we establish the benchmark 100K a month is next
Mhm.
up. So when you get to that level, we connect again, because there'll be like new lessons that you've learned on your journey.
Mhm.
And yeah, we'd love to see you there as soon as possible. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me so early,
Yeah.
sharing the message, sharing the inspiration with people. And thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. See you guys.